Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino, back for my post-market wrap-up for today, Monday, December 11th, 2017. A lot of stuff I want to talk about. Let's start off with, again, the bond market. In the video that I did this morning, I explained to you that at that time they were buying bonds big time. Well, around 11 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, for one reason or the other, bonds started to sell off hardcore. What did this do? Well, it started putting pressure on the stock market, which essentially did finish at new record highs. Now, I know for a fact you are not surprised about this. I told you this was going to happen on Saturday when I wrote a nice article on Steemit explaining this for you ahead of time. I told you what to do to capitalize on that, and I went over it this morning. So, if you do nothing else today, take a second and go to my website, traderschoice.net. Believe me, you have got to see this. You won't believe it. You will not believe it. Right side of the page, right under the chat room, the bond market. It's eye-popping. I don't know another way to put it. But mark my words right here and right now. Timestamp it. They will not allow this to continue. Tomorrow starts the two-day Fed meeting. Wednesday, we're going to hear from the Federal freaking Reserve. And they are going to raise rates. In my view, again, what are we talking about? The federal funds rate, 25 basis points. That's it. Forget about what you're hearing come out of the mouths of anyone from the Confederacy of Dunces, you know who they are, or any of the mainstream financial channels who are talking about what the Fed is going to do next year. It doesn't matter. They always change their story anyway. All the market cares about is right here and right now, and that's what you should only care about. Don't try to look out there because it's going to change. But you can expect, at least in my view, and keep this in mind, you know this, I have been wrong one time, and one time only, in all of the years that the Fed has been talking about raising rates. My record with the Federal Reserve is second to none. It's probably the best on the street, period. Now, let's talk about a few other things here. As you can probably imagine, maybe you can't even imagine, I get my email box full of questions and comments. People even send me like the most obscure things you can ever imagine, and questions that I mean, I wouldn't even be able to tell you about here because it's so out there. I even get porn. People send me porn. Why? I have no idea. I guess they want me to look at it. But look, here's the deal with the theme from today. Okay, now I have covered Bitcoin over the past couple of days. I want to talk about gold and silver too. I got a whole bunch of questions about that. I wrote an article today on Steemit where I said, and the reason why I wrote this article was in response to some of the questions that I've gotten today. Do not bet against Bitcoin. I don't know how many emails I got today asking, hey Greg, now that there's a futures market, how can I bet against Bitcoin? First of all, I'm not going to cover that. All right, that's up to you to figure out on your own. I am not going to do it. Number two, I understand that many of you out here believe that Bitcoin is in a bubble. In fact, they talked about it all day on CNBC. You know what? It may be in a bubble. It may not be in a bubble, but I want you to understand something about bubbles, and I think you already know this. An asset bubble, doesn't have to be Bitcoin, could be anything, can go on for an unbelievably extended period of time. Again, we are living underneath the biggest bubble of them all, which is the debt bubble, which is hyperinflated the stock market bubble, reinflated a housing bubble. And these are going to go on. They're not going to stop here. This is why for the long haul, let's go back to gold and silver, you need to be holding a hard asset. And they are punishing the paper derivative of gold and silver, it seems like it's unrelenting even today, despite the dollar being down. So just to recap this little mid segment here, please do not bet against Bitcoin here. Wall Street, and I know I'm going to get trolled for saying this, is going to start running the show, and has already, in my opinion, with regard to Bitcoin with these futures markets. Let me speak a little bit further about the futures markets. They're being traded at an almost infantile pace. It's insane, the contracts that are being bought up. It's fractional compared to anything else. Again, I'll give you this. It's just starting, and there's going to be more exchanges opening up. But again, it's moving at a snail's pace here, and regardless of that, extreme volatility here. But do not attempt to bet against Bitcoin here. The street is going to prop it up higher. This is my opinion here. Make up your own mind. But I really wanted to get that point across, because I don't know how many emails I got today. Greg, could you explain how to do this? Greg, I want to do this. No, I won't even talk about it, because I think it's a stupid idea. Pardon me saying that. I'm not saying you're specifically stupid, for those of you that wrote to me. I just think the idea is out there at this point here. The hysteria. I mean, it's literally kind of a hysteria right now associated with Bitcoin. The way that it's moving, it's making its way into Wall Street now. It's going to be gamed, people, and that does not mean it's going to be gamed lower at this point. Do I believe it's going to be gamed lower at one point? Beyond any shadow of a doubt. But for now, we can expect it to go up. Number two, people, you know how I feel about this already if you know my work. I despise, and I cannot stress that enough, despise the paper derivatives associated with gold and silver. They're not real. There's no price discovery mechanism here whatsoever. Some of you wrote to me this morning saying you were actually buying calls on gold, GLD, and silver, SLV. And I actually wrote back to a couple of you. I said, please don't do this. And if you are, for some ungodly reason, you need to be hedging these positions. I sincerely hope that you took my advice here. You do not want to be getting long here. The paper derivatives are fake. You know that. And they will do whatever they want with them. And I believe they're going to pressure them lower. So number one, do not attempt to find a way or do short Bitcoin. Forget about it. Do not buy calls here with regard to the paper derivatives of gold and silver. Better yet, take advantage of this by holding the hard asset. Buy the real thing, and you hold it for the long term. The long term. I don't know another way to put this. Every day this happens to me. People just don't get it. They don't understand it. You want to get a quick fix? I've made this very simple for you. I told you how to play these markets. I have not had a losing trade in as far back as I can possibly remember. I just haven't. Doesn't mean I'm not going to have one tomorrow. But that's the fact, and I've gone over every single one of these for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks, so you know I'm not BSing you. This is the truth. So if you need a quick fix, learn how to trade options, equity derivatives, like Greg Mannarino does, and then you can sit here in front of your computer at home and watch all this craziness around you while you're making cash. Look, I don't know what else to say about that. All right, so here we go. Markets hit a new record high today. You're not surprised. The bond market, unbelievable sell-off after 11 o'clock. They will not allow this to continue. Watch that bond market moving into tomorrow. Go to my website and just have a look at it for a second. You will not believe what you see. It's the truth. If you go to my website and you see that chart and you go, oh, okay, this is normal looking, well, I just freaking won't believe it. But comment here. I would love to hear from you. All right, let's see how this plays out moving forward. People, everything. Let's watch it all. Start with the bond market. Number one, if you're a Bitcoin enthusiast, I think I have good news for you. And I've been talking to other people throughout the day. One of my friends here has had Bitcoin for years, and his profit is staggering. He knows this very, very well, and he feels exactly the way that I do as well. He's also a derivatives trader. What else did I want to say? That's it. Keep your eye on everything. Do not go long the derivatives of gold and silver here. Buy the hard asset if you want to get involved. Don't look for a quick fix here, okay? And don't think that they're going to, gold and silver are going to rip higher. I know I'm going off the deep end here, but let me say one more thing why I believe that it's not going to happen for those of you that wrote to me earlier today or are thinking about doing this. This is now a risk-on environment again. Risk on. That means stocks higher. Understand? That means they're going to keep that bond market stable no matter what comes out of the mouth of Janet Yellen come Wednesday. And we're going to talk about that big time. It's going to be an unbelievable day. I can't wait for that, actually. I'm actually going to be on live with Lynette Zhang on Wednesday. And that, I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be an interesting kind of a volley between the two of us. All right, with that said, I'm gonna shut up my mouth. I hope this video has made sense to you. No matter what asset you're looking to get into or trade, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to make this easy for you. I want you to understand what's going on so you can take whatever asset you want to get involved in and, frankly, rip its face off. Boom! See you tomorrow.